player has been involved in an accident. Sam Williams crashed his brand new Corvette today.
Police are investigating if Williams was speeding, not believe alcohol or drugs to be a factor.
At this point, I think I've established my reputation as being a Dallas Cowboy fan, although a fairly pessimistic Dallas Cowboy fan. And for the diehard Cowboys fans in my comment section, could you really blame me? I mean, I started following the Dallas Cowboys as a kid in the year 2001, literally right after Troy Aikman sustained a concussion, and I had to live through the years of Dave Campo, Quincy Carter, Chad Hutchinson, Drew Bledsoe, Vinny Testaverde. I mean, I could go on and on and on. And I think this is the most pessimistic it's going to get. So before we get to the content, make sure you drop a like, subscribe, and turn on our notifications to help the channel grow. Now that we get all that out of the way, break! A lot of you guys have been hitting me up in the DMs telling me how much money you've been making on Prize Picks. A huge shout out to my subscriber Spencer Sims, who's made $7,000 off of his picks over the past 2 weeks. If you follow me on Instagram, you know I play Prize Picks religiously and I post my picks to my story each and every day. If you want to try out Prize Picks right now, when you use my promo code Mikerophone, you'll get up to a $100 deposit match on your first deposit. And if you get any big hits on Prize Picks, make sure you DM them to me on Instagram so I could feature you in future promos. And thank you, Prize Picks, for the sponsor. Mike Chuck 1212. What's going on, everybody? It's not looking good for the Dallas Cowboys right now, I'll admit that. I mean, we did have a nice little push towards the end of the season where we won 2 out of our last 3 games and actually had an opportunity to win the NFC East if the New York Giants didn't rest their players and the Dallas Cowboys didn't have a full-on meltdown against the Washington Commanders and their 3rd-string quarterback. We could have ended off the season on a pretty high note. And for the most part, the Cowboys did the exact opposite of that. And I'm saying this to you guys before we even get to the fact that one of our players just got arrested before the wild card round. We're going to get to that in just a sec. I mean, in a 26-6 loss versus the Washington Commanders, Dak Prescott threw nearly 2 interceptions in a row, the first one being dropped by a Commanders defender and the second one getting returned for a pick 6. Dak Prescott leads the NFL with 15 interceptions this season despite missing 5 games this year. And although things were really exciting and exhilarating after the Cowboys beat the Philadelphia Eagles, I'd have to admit the last 2 weeks have been very concerning. Barely beating a Ryan Tannehill-less Tennessee Titans team that didn't play Derrick Henry either, and then losing to Sam Howell and the Washington Commanders in a game that featured a plethora of mistakes and sloppy football. It seems like we are officially here in the Dallas Cowboys cycle, where the 4-game win streak of November is officially a thing of the past. Beating teams like the Minnesota Vikings 40-3 and flirting with Odell Beckham Jr. is also a thing of the past. Thinking that this year is our year is also a thing of the past because it seems like the Cowboys are setting themselves up yet another collapse. And I can't be any more pessimistic. We're facing off against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who we lost to 19-3 at home, although I know Dak Prescott got injured in the middle of that game. But this time the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are hosting us, and the Cowboys without a doubt have the better team, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have Tom Brady. And the fact that Tom Brady has always beaten the Dallas Cowboys is also making me even more pessimistic. If you're a Cowboy fan and you think I'm being too pessimistic for you, let me know in the comment section why I should be optimistic, because I would take any reason at all whatsoever. But at this point, you have to understand, I feel like I've seen this movie multiple times. It's kind of like the Christmas episode of Black Mirror, where you keep on reliving this one horrific moment of your life for the rest of eternity. That's how I feel like as a football fan. And the thing about this movie that frustrates me is Jerry Jones is saying the exact same stuff that he always says. I mean, he's coming out and warning all of his fans about the playoffs after they got their handed to them by the Washington Commanders. I mean, no offense to the Commanders, but this is a team that completely forgot that they could be eliminated from playoff contention a week before.
To clarify, you said you would talk about quarterback next week. If you guys are eliminated today by what happens at 4 o'clock, is Sam Howell in consideration?
We can be eliminated.
Yeah, if the Packers beat the Vikings, then you guys are eliminated.
And although initially there was a report that Mike McCarthy's job security might depend on the Dallas Cowboys' performance in the playoffs, it seems like Jerry Jones is singing a completely different tune. First thing he talked about was Tom Brady. When you really think about we're not playing Tom Brady, Brady is, you say, well, in this game, quarterback. The fact that he's quarterback teams that you haven't beaten with him quarterbacking. But boy, we're playing Tampa Bay, the team. And it's conceivable that we can make Brady not play well and get our tails beat by the rest of the team. And I'm not trying to be cute, but we've got to go play the entire team. And this Brady thing has got to be sensitive. I know it's there and I respect that, giving us a challenge to do something that we haven't done before, and that's beat Tom Brady. On top of this, he said that Mike McCarthy's job is not on the line if he loses this game to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because of how he's performed so far this year. And if losing to the Washington Commanders wasn't concerning enough, well, the Dallas Cowboys' second round pick in the NFL draft this year, Sam Williams, an individual that, with all due respect to him, looks like a phenomenal pick so far. He hasn't had a Micah Parsons-like impact, but he's outperformed his position as a second round pick, officially has a warrant out for his arrest. I know, such impeccable timing too, right when they have to face off against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, where the entire game is going to be dependent on how much pressure they could generate on Tom Brady. One of the key pieces of the Dallas Cowboys pass rush is under arrest. So we have the entire report for you guys. First brought to us by Dove Kleinman via TMZ. An arrest warrant has been issued for Dallas Cowboys rookie Sam Williams over his alleged role in a car crash last month. The thing that's a little traumatizing for us football fans is it's not any kind of car crash, it's a Corvette crash. Sound familiar? So here's the storyline. An arrest warrant has been issued for Cowboys rookie Sam Williams, according to TMZ, over his alleged role in a violent car crash last month. The Plano Police Department tells us the misdemeanor warrant is for reckless driving, though further details surrounding the allegations against Williams were not made immediately available. According to a police spokesperson at this time, there is no plan to find and arrest Williams, as the 23-year-old football player has been contacted to turn himself in. Per the spokesperson, though, if Williams is stopped by the police before he turns himself in, he would be arrested then. Apparently, Williams slammed his black Corvette into another vehicle at around 2:15 p.m. in Plano, Texas on December 22nd. Pictures from the scene showed the collision caused serious damage, leaving debris all over the roadway. Now, fortunately, neither Williams or the other driver were seriously injured in the crash, but the Dallas pass rusher did end up missing one game following the wreck. Williams addressed the accident with reporters a few days afterward and said he was thankful to still be alive. You're looking at the total car like, man, but God works in mysterious ways. I know he has something in store for me. Now, we currently have no idea if this is going to impact Williams' availability for the team's playoff game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but it's definitely not a story that you want to be hearing about going into the NFL playoffs. The first thing is that no one got hurt in this situation, and it doesn't seem like it's a situation that's even close to what Antonio Brown had to deal with a bunch of policemen literally camping outside of his home, waiting for Antonio Brown to come out. But this is still not what you want to read going into the playoffs, hearing that a key member of the Dallas Cowboys pass rush has a warrant out for his arrest. So when you combine all of these things, the fact that the Cowboys had poor performances over the past 2 weeks, the fact that Dak Prescott has been really bad at taking care of the football, which is something that he's always been pretty good at, the fact that Mike McCarthy still has job security despite the fact that we might see another one and done season from him, which is eerily reminiscent to Jason Garrett, and the fact that there's off the field distractions involving key players on the Dallas Cowboys. That's before we mention that we're facing off against the greatest NFL player of all time in the wild card on the road, and you can see why I have significant pessimism towards the Dallas Cowboys and their ability to compete in the playoffs. But I hope I'm wrong. I was wrong when I said we're screwed after losing to the Green Bay Packers and having to face off against the Minnesota Vikings and the New York Giants. I could be wrong here, but I hope in the future we come back to this video and say, man, this take aged like milk. So let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about all this, man. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike. I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.